So when it comes to exercises, I'd say first self-esteem. It's good to have a healthy self-esteem because that's going to affect the quality of your life. So first, there's that. Um, what kind of internal voice are you actually projecting on yourself? Secondly, boundaries. You need to incorporate boundaries in your everyday. So when it comes to your relationships, workplace, also forgiveness, it's best to just release because it's almost like an anchor. It's a hidden anchor inside of you, which I do explain in my book that eventually it can manifest into an illness.
Amos Madra.
A warm welcome to you. You've got a book out, Freedom. It sounds really interesting. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about the book.
About me, I am passionate about helping women to break the cycle of abuse. About my book, it's exactly what it says on the tin. Helping people break free. Although it's specifically targeted at women, anyone can get abused, and which also men can also read it too.
Yeah, I think it's such an important topic, and I think there's so many people who are trying to break free, from the chains within their own mind as well. I'm sure your book addresses all that.
Oh, definitely, yes. I actually discuss in one chapter about your self-limiting beliefs when it comes to your self-esteem. So it starts from the very beginning, when it starts from your childhood, and when it comes to your caregivers, how you were treated, school, your friends, all of those things. When it comes to your mistakes, embarrassments, all of these things, it ends up becoming like a picture in your mind, in your subconscious, and people don't really know that type of picture has been built up in their subconscious, and they actually live out that, thinking that they are failures, or from their experiences, from teachers, from friends, and whoever. It goes from that, really.
It sounds really interesting. Where did the inspiration come from to write this book?
It started when it was the pandemic. So when the news reported that a lot of women around the world were actually being abused, this was something that was actually making me feel sick. I didn't feel comfortable with hearing the news, and especially how women were also getting murdered as well. And so I felt like I had to do something, but which it was more or less like an epiphany for me. It just came to me with the idea of the book.
You acted pretty fast with that, didn't you? Because I remember the reports on the news. It almost feels as though it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
But for you to take quick action, you certainly felt the need for and a sense of urgency to do something.
Definitely, yeah.
And
Well, that's the thing, because sorry.
no, go on.
Yeah, because the thing is that it's not just women; it's also men as well. Because when I see news reports where men also die in relationships as well, and just any kind of human being, anyone who suffer any kind of violence, it hits me. It really upsets me. So because it's close to home for me, then that's where I really want to reach out and help other people.
Can you tell us your own story?
Well, so I do explain in my book, but I explain how it started with me, where I was born to a teenaged girl, and who was my mom, and which I was not really, she was not prepared. It was just one of them. And the thing is that growing up, her heart was not really into it. Her heart was not into the relationship with me, and how she was treating me. As a child, I thought it was completely normal because this is my mother, this is my caregiver, and which I didn't know any different. So as a child, you think that that type of behavior, like cold and mistreating, like, or any form of physical abuse, anything like that, you think it's actually normal. So just shortening my experience, basically. So it started from there as a child, and then that's how it continued, because I felt that the behavior, the mistreatment of how I received from my mother, it carried on up until an adult. And so then I thought certain behaviors were natural and normal. So then I attracted certain partners and friends. And that's how I was found in the cycle of abuse.
And did you find that other people were perhaps pointing out to you that this is not normal, or was it a case that she provided for you, put food on the table, put clothes on your back? So from people outside looking in, it looks as though everything was okay, but that love just wasn't there.
Yeah, definitely. When it came to family members, it was just normal. Like, the thing is that family members, say for example cousins, aunties, they didn't really see behind closed doors what was actually going on. So but the thing is, for me, I wasn't really aware that the mistreatment was abnormal up until my late 20s. So and that was through counseling. It was with my pastor. Although I did have friends who would come over and they would actually see little signs of how I was treated and how I was spoken to. They did make me aware of these things, which obviously I thought was normal. But again, I just thought that was just, everybody went through the same thing.
And do you have any other siblings, or is it just you as an only child?
For about 20 years, it was just me and my mom. It was just us two. And then 20 years later, my sister came around. So.
And did the relationship change, or was it still the same sort of relationship with your mother and your sister?
Yeah, me and my mom don't speak.
Okay. So at that, you came to a point where you felt that you needed to break away from that relationship.
Definitely. Yeah, it was. The thing is that it continues to spiral. So she doesn't recognize what she is actually doing. So now as an adult, I remove myself, and it's, for me to have like just like a healthy mindset.
Having a healthy mindset, talk to us about that process. Talk to us about this from the stage of you coming to this realization of where you are with things, and then for you to transition to where you are today. Talk to us about that journey.
As I mentioned, it starts from the very beginning. So childhood is very, very important, and especially with how children are treated. And with all the words, with how I was treated, it affected the way how I saw myself. It affected when it came to careers, if I had confidence or not to choose for a job or anything. It affected everything. So as I mentioned, in my late 20s, I actually founded upon a church, and a friend actually told me about this pastor who actually counsels many women. So I spoke with her. I told her about my situation, about my background, and which she actually informed that it's not healthy. So so now, so the thing is that for 5 years, I was getting counseled, and so then now I'm in a place where, I've been doing further reading, further study. I've added psychology in my book, and I'm at a place where now I'm free. I have studied when it comes to certain types of abuse, and I feel like I'm at a point where I can actually help other people.
Yeah, I think that's really good, very empowering. And, you're on the right trajectory there and, looking after yourself first and putting yourself in a good state of mind where
Yeah.
you can fill your cup until it overflows so that you can give to others, which is really
Yes.
good. Is the door still open for your mum?
Well, that's the thing, because I do mention in my book about forgiveness, and it is really important. And the thing is that I have forgiven her, and which I would move forward. I would, um, you know, like, for example, when I have children, I would like for her to be a grandmother eventually. It's really up to her. It's just where she's at, to be honest.
That's really good. That love never fades away, even though you are leading your own life and focusing on you and doing you. Talk to us about this new state of mind where you are. You're very empowered, you're helping other people, you're doing so much good. And in all of that, you found a purpose, a calling.
Yeah. So where I'm at right now is I'm just trying to reach out to charities, sending out my book to CEOs, informing them about, just the awareness of my book, seeing where it stands there. And I've also been told so many times that it's best that from a book, I've created a business model, so which I can actually help other people through the journey and transition, and help them when it comes to redirecting their life, like, they're like finding their life's purpose and stuff. So even though maybe they were robbed in whatever way in the past, when it comes to abuse, but in fact, I actually want to help and restore people.
That sounds absolutely brilliant, Dina. Can you talk to us about some of the practical exercises that you go through to keep the right frame of mind?
So when it comes to exercises, I'd say first, self-esteem. It's good to have a healthy self-esteem, because that's going to affect the quality of your life. So first, there's that. What kind of internal voice are you actually projecting on yourself? Secondly, boundaries. You need to incorporate boundaries in your everyday. So when it comes to your relationships, workplace, also forgiveness, it's best to just release, because it's almost like an anchor. It's a hidden anchor inside of you, which I do explain in my book that eventually it can manifest into an illness. Yeah. So there's other books as well that actually back up what I say too. And yeah, education, recognizing what abuse is,
Yeah,
as well as goal setting.
yeah. And I think, it's really important that these things get taught to us, and it's sad that you've had to deal with these struggles. And it seems that, you were alone at that time, but there's a time for everything. And where you are now, having come through that whole phase, I suppose it makes you realize how strong you are. Do you look back and do you look and say, do you know what? I'm a lot stronger than I actually thought I was.
The thing is that even I also mentioned about in one chapter toxic auntie. Even like a lot of people who have read my book, they think to themselves, did that really happen? Is that real? And it actually is real. I did have a knife pointed in my stomach, and in fact my auntie, yeah. So
Your auntie pointed a knife.
she was plotting like murder. So yeah, it that's the thing. Yeah, it's crazy. When I look back and think this is what I've been through, it's just, and I'm still here. So this is the whole reason why I want to help others. So it's just helping people, because that's the reason why statistically a lot of women get murdered by their partners, by family members, and I'm more or less a survivor, and this is something that I have to do in order to help others.
Absolutely incredible. I can't even begin to think what you went through, what that must have done to you, stricken with fear, and not knowing how to get out. And I suppose you lose your voice, but you've got through that. You've got your voice back again, and you can speak loudly and proudly. Talk to us about that. And the courage.
So I feel I feel that although I explain as a child, I was actually told to shut up all the time and to not speak, and I wasn't allowed to have a voice. But it's empowering. And so I feel like this is a new chapter for me, having to I would like to become a spokesperson. So when it comes to those who aim to abuse, I feel that, oh gosh, sorry, I'm lost again.
Whenever you take your time. You take your time.
Sorry.
I think it's brilliant, doing the spokesperson, and you want to go out and help other people, don't you?
Definitely.
Talk to us about that.
So in the United Kingdom, there's millions of people who are currently being abused. And so when it comes to the pandemic, although it's kind of over, nearly over, I'm not sure, nobody knows. The thing is that abuse it's continual. So there's a hidden pandemic of people being abused, men, women who are just not speaking up, and they're suffering in silence. And so the thing is that because of my experience, even though it is quite shocking with what I reveal, what I've been through, but the thing is that I hope other people will resonate with that, in which I can be a spokesperson and help other people to also find their voice and to share with what they've been through too, and to help other people, as well.
Incredible. And you're certainly on the right path, and your book certainly does that. It's great that you've got your book out. And by the way, where can people get hold of the book?
Amazon.
It's available on Amazon. Freedom Amazon. And can we expect any more books to come as well in the future?
Yeah, so I had another idea. It's called Life After Abuse. Yeah. So although in my current book, it actually says there's a chapter where you recognize toxic characteristics, but in fact, life after abuse, I want to go more in depth with how you actually maintain and have healthy relationships with people.
Sounds really good. And, I don't want to say too much, but I'll be looking forward to that one. So we can expect a part 2 to this, yeah?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Wow. It's been such a joy to have you here today and to come and share your story with us. It can't be easy going back and talking about reflecting on these things, but it's in that you found yourself, And
Yeah.
you know, they always say, even in the bad, try and find good. And you know, finding your voice, even though you were told to keep quiet, finding who you are, finding that you're so courageous and strong to get through anything, you know, that has to be absolutely rewarding, knowing that you can go out there and help other people because you've been empowered and you found that inner strength, that inner voice within you, which is now being projected to the world.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
So how can we get hold of you? How can we get in touch with you on social medias? Have you got social media handles? Are you on social media?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm Nicola Deane Freedom,
Okay.
and my email is Nicola middle dash
Yeah.
Deane, Deane at outlook.com.
Okay, fantastic. And the audience can connect with you there as well. And of course, your book, Freedom, is out on Amazon. And we've got another one coming up soon as well. So a busy year for you, 2022.
Yes,
And
definitely.
beyond.
Yes, thank
Thank you
you.
so much for coming on here today. Really appreciate your company.
Thank you, Amos.
If you want some amazing inspiration, check out the videos next to me, and I'll see you right there.